Hi there. I just wanted to pop in and just say hello to all of you. Today, I wanted to talk about intuition. Having intuition is an amazing thing, and most people who are empaths and super sensitive, they are highly intuitive, very highly intuitive. But here's the thing, this is what I want to talk about with intuition. Having high intuition is a gift, and many of you who tune into my work, who read my books, who relate to what I say, are highly intuitive. You're gifted. But, this is the big but, intuition can be a double-edged sword. What do I mean by that? When you're highly intuitive, what it means is that your antenna is super, I guess, powerful, if you will. You know, your antenna, your radar is picking up on stuff all around, right? So when you're highly intuitive, the question is, what is your antenna tuned to? So you can either be picking up stuff that's going on here in this physical world with the people around you, or you could be picking up messages from the other side, from the unseen world, from your higher self, from source, from your guides. So you could be, so in other words, your intuition could be doing either one of these two things. It could be picking up the messages from the unseen world, which includes your soul. You could be getting messages about your soul's journey or from your guides and so on. Or you could be picking up all the messages from this world and what people around you, the physical world around you, is transmitting. So when you're highly intuitive, you are always, your antenna is always picking up stuff. So the question I have for you is that, is your antenna completely submerged with picking up the stuff from this world? Or are you consciously focusing on picking up the gifts and the messages from the unseen world, your guides, your higher self? And so here's the difference, is that when you're constantly picking up messages from this world, your antenna is so flooded or submerged sometimes, or your psyche, yourself, you're so submerged with all the pain and the anguish of this world that there's no room for you to get the messages from the other side, from your guides. Also, it makes you feel very heavy and dense. And the heavier and more dense you are, you're still intuitive because you're picking up all this stuff. But because it's weighing you down and bogging you down, you're not able to tune in to the messages from your higher self and your guides. So I want you to consciously be aware of what it is you're doing. So the last few years have been really difficult for empaths because we have been bombarded with fear-based messages. And a lot of people have been hurting or suffering, whether it's because of COVID or whether it's because of the lockdowns, and people have been depressed, and a lot of people have been confused and divided. And so empaths are just picking up all this energy. And as you're picking up this energy, you're trying to reach out to help people. And very often when we do that, when we go out and we help people and we do things and we become burned out, you know, which I've experienced, and I know firsthand what it feels like to really absorb all the energies of the world around me and become burned out. I experienced that much earlier this year. So when we do that, we aren't aware that what we're actually doing is blocking out the energies from the unseen world. And we think that, oh, this is my intuition. I'm very sensitive. I'm intuitive to the needs of other people. And so therefore, I need to go and serve other people. Be aware that doing it this way could burn you out if you are an empath. And I want to suggest to you a better way of doing things. So first of all, each of us has our own guidance system. Everybody does. Everybody has their own guidance system. You do, I do. So you need to tune into your guidance system. You don't need to look to me for answers. You need to tune into your guidance system. And the way you tune into your guidance system is by looking for times, moments when you can have solitude and quietness. And I find being out in nature is really good for that. For me also, music helps me, like meditative music. It really helps me to put me in the right frame of mind. It really kind of calms my brain waves, and it allows me to really connect with the other side. So whatever works for you, maybe it's listening to seascape sounds, maybe it's sitting by the ocean, whatever works for you. And then you can just put it out there and you can say, okay, guide me through this. I'm feeling confused or lost, or I want to know my purpose, or whatever it is. Put it out there to the universe. Put it out there to your guides and say, guide me and help me through this. Also, what really helps is if you kind of have a vision of what it is you want or where it is you want to go. You say, let's say even you're dealing with a physical health issue and what you want is optimum health. Visualize the optimum health and say to your guides, I need to get there. Will you show me the steps? But give them a visual of where you want to go and just say, I need to get there. Show me the steps. And allow the messages to come to you. They'll come to you not always immediately when you ask for it, but sometimes when you are in bed, lying in bed just before you fall asleep, or in the shower. So many of us get our messages in the shower. I know I do. Sometimes even when I'm brushing my teeth, I get my messages. Or when I'm at my dresser putting on my makeup or brushing my hair, suddenly it'll be like, oh, yeah, Granny or somebody from the other side is telling me I need to talk about this, such and such topic. So put it out there, ask for it, and then allow it to come at its own time. And you will get your answers in its own time. Sometimes the answers will come as thoughts. Sometimes the answer will come through other people. Someone will say something and you'll be like, oh my God, what they said, that resonates with me. Or it'll come through a song on the radio. But your guides will make sure to get the message to you when you are listening to them. And when you are listening to them, your signs is the clue that you are open and you're listening to them is when you start to feel a little bit lighter, when you have space around you, like you're in nature, you're listening to music, you're not in the heaviness of the problems of the world. So when you're feeling some space and openness, that's when the messages can really come through, and that's when the guides find it easier to give you messages, or your soul, or it's easier to tap into your soul's journey. The more you are in a space of just openness, of music, of nature, of exercising is another thing. It's like when you're out walking and exercising, working out, whatever exercising looks like to you, you can get messages then. But when you are stuck in the problems of the world and problems of the people around you, it's harder for you to receive messages. So the clue that, so when people say, I'm not receiving any messages, and I'm an empath, I'm intuitive, and I'm always out there serving people, but I don't feel I'm being helped. The reason you don't feel that you're being helped is because you are too focused on the problems that people in the physical world are having. And most of us believe that we are of service when we are immersed in helping people with their problems. But here are a couple of things I want to mention to you. I said earlier, everybody has their own guidance system. Everybody has their own soul's journey, and their soul is constantly communicating with their physical self. We all have our guides on the other side, our deceased loved ones. We all have them. When you are out there believing that you need to sacrifice yourself and your energy to help someone, and you believe that you have to work hard at actually, like, you know, you could be a rescuer, like you just won't rest until every last person is helped. What you are doing is you are sending the message to yourself and to everyone around you and to the universe that only I can rescue them. They don't have their own guidance system which is helping them. In other words, you're undermining their own ability to connect with their own guidance system, to find their way out. It is a false belief. It's almost egotistical, if you will, to believe that you are the only person that can rescue them, even if it depletes you. So remember that everybody has their own guidance system, and you don't have to sacrifice yourself to the point of actually draining your energy for other people. You're not being asked to do that. Nobody's asking you to do that. Your guides are not asking you to do that. And that is not what your intuition is for. Your intuition is not so that you can drain yourself serving other people. Here's the better way of using your intuition. Let's say you're seeing somebody suffer. What I would do is, instead of throwing myself in to meeting them in their suffering, what I do is I will call in my guides and say, guides, this person is suffering. They're probably in an energy that is so dense that their guidance system is not getting through to them. I would like to have my guides help me to know if there is anything I need to do, anything I can that will help them. But at the same time, I will even ask my guides to communicate with their guides. So in other words, you are going from you to your guides, to their guides, to them, as opposed to me using my physical energy, throwing myself in to help them. Does this make sense? I'd love to hear from you, and I'd love to know whether this makes sense to you. This is how you avoid depleting your energy. So when there are people that now come and want me because they're so used to me being a rescuer and throwing myself into their problems, and now let's say I'm like, okay, I've learned my lesson, it completely depleted me and drained me, I'm now going to do it differently. As soon as they come to me and ask or tell me their problems and cry on my shoulder and all the stuff, what I usually say is, I'm going to show you how to connect with your guides. And for me, that's so much more uplifting than saying, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry to hear that. Let me be your shoulder to cry on. Let me assist you. Let me walk you through all your struggles and be there for you, even if it's 2 a.m. No, I don't do that. I say, let me show you how you can connect with your guides, because that's what I do. And I'll say, I was in a predicament, but my guides helped me out. And they say, oh, my guides don't tell me what to do. And I'll say, I'll show you. Let's go for a walk in nature. And I will make sure I stay in that uplifted place where I am connected to my guides. And I will make sure not to go to where they are. And I will encourage them to come where I am. But sometimes people aren't ready to come where you are. They aren't always ready. But you have to remember, even if they're not ready, you don't have to go to where they are. You can talk to your guides and say, please help them. Please have their guides talk to them, or show me the way as to how I can help them. Just keep talking to your guides. You don't have to keep being there for them, but you can still send them positive vibes through your own guides, your own guidance system. I'm going to turn to Abby, and I'm going to say, I'd love to hear if there is any relevant questions. Please keep it on topic, or any comments that you would like to shout out, which I will repeat through my microphone because I know they can't hear you.
A lot of people are saying this makes total sense to them, complete sense. A lot of people saying that it's great to be able to help them, but also respect their boundaries, and they love the idea of asking your guides to help their guides. So, yeah.
So I'm so glad, and so I find that a lot of intuitive people, they can't differentiate between the messages that they're getting from the other side and just tuning into the energies here. So that's the first thing to be aware of. Ask yourself, what am I doing? If you're constantly feeling heavy and drained, it means you're plugging into the heaviness of what people are feeling emotionally here. So you need to shift that, and you need to start telling yourself, there is hope. Now that I'm aware that I have a tendency to do this, let me stop doing this and let me tune in to my own guidance system. Once you start doing that, as I said, you'll start to feel much lighter. So your clue is if you're feeling light, it means you're tuning into your guidance system. If you're feeling heavy, it means you're tuning into the whatever we want to call it, the muck, the goop, whatever we want to call the stuff that's going on here. It didn't help that over the last couple of years, the mass media has brought more hysteria to people, and that's what we pick up on. Some of the things that throw us off is when people say to us, if they say, oh, you're being selfish for not jumping in there and helping so and so and so. Remember that if you jump in there and it's not something that you energetically want to do and you know that it's going to deplete you, but you do that because you don't want to appear to be selfish, all it'll do is deplete your energy and you won't be any good to them anyway. So you need to be okay with people saying you're selfish. Another thing that really kind of annoys me is when people say, you're spiritually bypassing because you just want to stay in that high vibe. The thing is, I actually think that what I'm doing is bringing more light to the world. How do you bring light to the world if you're going to jump in to what is going to deplete you? Because when you're depleted, your light gets dimmed and you just become part of the problem instead of part of the solution. So don't buy into anything that anybody is saying that brings you back into the muck. What you need to be aware of at all times is, how is it making me feel? And only when I am feeling uplifted can I uplift the people around me. That's the most important question to ask yourself. What I am doing now, how is it making me feel? Is it making me feel uplifted? When you're helping someone and it makes you feel really uplifted, it means you're doing it from the right space. It means what's happening, even without you consciously knowing it, is that your guides, you're channeling how to help this person. And when you're channeling, you don't even feel it. Your guides are telling you what to do, and that's what you're doing. It's like it feels very smooth and organic, kind of like you're doing martial arts. It really does feel like Tai Chi or something like that. So when you're helping, so the key to look for is when you're helping someone, you need to feel energized. If it's depleting you, then you're better off not doing it. So I want to leave you with that message. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you liked this video, please follow me on Facebook, on YouTube, on Instagram, and I would love to hear back from you in the comments. Thank you, thank you, thank you. See you soon. Bye.